Hey guys, it's me, Emmy on the go, and today I want to talk about, I went to Sesame Place 2 days ago, and I want to discuss I'm doing like a review, and here we go. So first of all, if you don't know what Sesame Place is, if you've ever heard of Sesame Street, it's an exact replica that they do shows. It's mainly a place for kids. It's basically a little theme park. Yeah, mainly a place for kids. They have shows. They have people that come out in costumes, and they have a water park and like rides. So there's a couple things on my list, and I'm going to be rating them and giving them my honest opinions. So first we have the entrance. But try not to go before opening, which is 10 a.m. because then you're stuck in a long line, and especially if you go in the summer, it's going to be hot. So there's the beaming sun, and you're stuck in line, and it's very long lines, very long. Another recommendation: buy your tickets online and print them out. Because if you gotta do it there's always a line, and then you're gonna get stuck waiting in line on a hot day. And you get right in. So the beginning entrance, I give it a 5.5. It's like kind of like a win-win situation. Actually, no, I'll give it a 5. It's more of like if you do stuff online, and if you don't come too early, then you're all right. But then if you don't do what I recommend, then you might have a little bad start. The lockers, kind of expensive. My dad had to pay $32 for a jumbo locker. So expect higher prices for your lockers, especially if you had all the people. It was my mom, my dad, my older sister, me, my sister, my brother, and my younger brother. So 7 people, and jumbo locker with all of us, it was still packed to the brim when we closed it. Remember that passcode. I'd give the lockers, I don't like how small they are too, because especially when it's crowded and you do get there once it opens, when you get in at 10:15 and you're in the park by 10:15, it starts getting real crowded if you want to go back to your locker and get more sunscreen on, or just get changed in the locker rooms. I'd recommend Sesame Place to expand their lockers, because when it gets real crowded, it gets real crowded, especially with the little ratty kids running around. So I give the lockers a 4. So let's go to the restaurants. Okay, this is where it starts kind of going downhill. So the restaurants, I would probably recommend bringing your own food, but some may not be able to do that. I would probably bring my own food, and if not, I'd probably try to get because you can get your hand stamped and to be able to come back to the park. I would try to eat outside the park because there's a couple reasons. So the main reason is the food is very expensive. When I went, my tickets had food vouchers, which meant we ate basically for free, but only at select restaurants. That's another thing. So expenses, and then it was so goddamn crowded. So if you're claustrophobic, you might not want to eat at Sesame Place because there was lines of people at every restaurant. We went in one. There's children running around. The line is like basically almost out the door, and it's a pariah. The other place is basically packed to the brim, confusing customers because that day they had like all-you-can-eat kind of like buffet, pasta, pizza, salads, nuggets, macaronis. So people were in a line for that. That took like 10 minutes, that line. And that may not seem long, but it felt like hours because it was okay feeling in there. But there's a bunch of strangers all over. And it's loud and everyone's grouped together and everyone is hungry and tired of standing. And then there's one worker at the cash register that's like a teenager. Whoa. So I give restaurants. Oh, and also the reason everywhere was so crowded, just because of one restaurant wasn't open because it was private. Someone had bought that place out for like the time. Sesame Place. I know you're trying to earn an extra buck, but don't do that. Try not to do that, at least, because it's gonna get rowdy. Okay. I give the restaurants a 3.5. Plus, the food isn't great. It's more like chicken tenders, chicken nuggets, pizza, like that. Like, it's not quality, but I guess you are at a kid's amusement park. The water and / water ride. Now, first of all, I think they need to extend the water. They just need to extend the whole goddamn park, to be honest. But they need to extend the water and water rides, because the deepest water they have is like 6 inches deep, which is unacceptable, I kind of think. So, actually no, the deepest water they have is 3 foot, and that's only you, because they only have that because you slide off from a water slide. But you can't swim in that. You gotta leave once you get off that water slide. So anyways, so I think they should add a pool, or like a wave pool, and just have more life jackets if they want to. If they just put more life jackets out, because they gotta understand that I know they are kids. There are kids there, but there's also older siblings and there's also parents that want to chill out. But the teeny tiny tidal wave is very tiny, and it's full of pea water, and it's all gross water. Like, we don't even go near that when we were there. And then the splash bucket, it's all crowded. That whole area is crowded. The town splash zone is so crowded. It took me and my siblings like 5 minutes to get on the little water slide. Yeah, this little water slide that drops you off into like 6 inches, not even. It's like one of those, it's hard to explain, but like a little bit of water. Excuse me? They weren't because the other two, there was supposed to be 3 open. There was only 2. I mean, there was supposed to be 2 other ones supposed to be opening, but there was only 2 open, but there's 4 of them. And it just got crowded. So I think they should add like a pool, at least like a pool. Not even a wave pool, just add like a pool that goes up from like 4 foot to like, I don't know, 8 foot. It's gonna keep the adults and older kids entertained. Because all the other people have to do is go under the count splash bucket. It don't take long to fill and get dumped, but you know, you get splashed and then there's a gust of wind and then you're cold and then there's the other splash. Like, stop. The water rides. I went on one major water slide, like one that like actually dumped into the pool, and that's because the others their lines were, if you want to, now I understand, like if you go to a Wildwood or any other place, there is a wait, but that wait isn't that long because it's like whoosh, once they're done. But at Sesame Place, it's all about safety. So you're made to wait and 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 wait. And I don't got time for that. So I went on one water slide that didn't have like a wait. So I just went down it. But the stupid thing is, and this went off into 3 foot, so I won't die because I hit the bottom and die with a cracked skull. But you can't wear water shoes. And my parents give us water shoes because we don't want to go back to the locker and get our flip-flops or regular shoes back on. So we wear water shoes around the park. And that's in case if there's anything in the water. Let me tell you, a little sidetrack, but there was we saw a grasshopper and a cricket in the water. I know no one can really control the insects, but when there is one, the lifeguard should try to take it out instead of just standing there. But whatever. Back to the thing I'm talking about. They make you take off your water shoes. So if you didn't take it off, because me and my sister did not see the sign that said you can't wear them. So we had to go down the water slide holding our shoes. Yeah, very fun. I'd say they should add more water slides than, or try to get at least one more, just so you try and get on a water, like more than one water slide when you're there. Okay. I give the water related stuff probably like a 3.5. The water is really cold too. Really cold. It's good on a hot day, but the day we went was kind of breezy, and it was like 87 degrees, so it was like breezy too. So every time there was a gust of wind, you got cold. Okay. 3.5/4. I don't know. Really. The rides. So I went on the Wacky Taxi twice, and it's an amazing ride. I definitely recommend it, but make sure you go like early. Like make sure you go on that ride once you get in the park or something, because that ride I wanted to go on it before we left because I was planning on. So I was planning on going on the Vapor Trail because it has been like years since I went on that. And so I decided I want to go on that. So we got in line. I was in front row. I was about to get on, but then there was something wrong. They were saying the roller coaster was going too slow, and they didn't know how long it was going to take. So it was either, and they didn't have a time, by the way. So they were like, it's either you leave or you can wait. And they were like, sorry, but thanks, like, you know. And I was just like, if there's no time, this time could be 20 minutes, it could be 5 minutes, it could be an hour. And I want to go on more rides in that time. You know what I mean? And so, I'm like, okay. And I get out of line, and I'm like, okay. And I just tell my parents, I'm like, okay, let's go on the ride across the goddamn park. Because the roller coasters are separate from the other rides. So we had to go back there. I went on the ride I wanted to go on. That was fun. It was the derby race kind of ride that went up in the air and spins. That's fun. I went alone because I chose to. I chose to go alone because it's like more fun. And so I went on that earlier I would say that later. So I was like going back to see if it opened, and then they closed down. I felt bad for the people that like were standing there for the time we were gone because it was like 10 minutes. I know, 10 minutes, not that long, but I would have fret. Because 10 minutes wasted, though. So they closed it down, and I'm like, that sucks. So I was gonna go on the Wacky Taxi a third time. But guess what? That line was packed. I didn't even get to go in the entrance. I just saw Abby's magic queue, and I was like, and it was all the way out, and I was like, if they're in the magic queue, which means they get to skip the line, that must mean and they're hanging out the doorway, that must mean the line's extra long. I'm not going to do that. That's crazy. I'm not doing that. That's crazy talk. I'm not going to wait. And especially my parents are not going to wait 30 minutes for one. The ride's only 1 minute long. Like, are you crazy? It's a good ride, but it ain't good enough to wait 30 minutes just for the minute. Damn. So I was like, how about we just empty our locker and go to the mall? Because we went to the Oxford Valley Mall. It's a great mall. If you ever visit, go there. But that's not what we're talking about today. So yeah. That's the rides. I give the rides a 4.5. They need to get more older rides and more kiddie rides too. Because a lot of the rides cannot contain handheld children. Which is my younger brother, my youngest one specifically, is 1 and doesn't walk yet. Because he only turned 1 like a couple months ago. So he doesn't walk yet. So he's handheld. So he couldn't go on any of the rides. We went basically for him, but he couldn't go on rides, you know? So that sucked. So I think they need to expand to more younger kids and more older kids. Because there's only a couple rides the older kids can ride where they won't look stupid. Specifically, that's like the 2 roller coasters. The one, I went on the one that goes up and then drops. Then we got the derby one. And I think the flying cookie, the flying cookie jars, you may say that's a kiddie ride because it's cookie jars flying up in the air that spin around and you can spin them real fast. But they go real high, so I say that's a pretty adult ride. A teenager maybe. That's like 5 rides, basically like a handful of rides that like older kids can go on without looking stupid. And there's only like a couple of things kids can go on. Yeah. But still, 4.5 ain't bad. But out of 10 though. We're not doing out of 5s, out of 10. The shows, they're okay. If you have a baby that is like 1 year old that is not gonna watch, and you have a bunch of other kids, I recommend you do not even waste your time on the shows or the musicals or any of this like that. They're useless. They're because my mom wanted to stop and watch this Big Bird and like the toucan sticking his head out the window, and Elmo and Abby Cadabby talking to the new neighbor, which is a toucan. And my baby brother was not watching it at all, mainly focusing on other people and maybe once or twice glancing at the Big Bird and him dancing or something. And my dad was just like, come on, let's go. And all of us were like, come on, let's go. And my mom's like, we were here for him. And then I'm just like thinking in my head, he's not watching it. We all hungry. We want to go. So we went. Basically, we saw the show, kind of. So don't waste your time. If you know your kid likes watching shows, then you can do it. But if you have a 1-year-old kid that won't pay attention to that kind of stuff, don't even try. They're not going to just sit down and watch it or stand up and watch it. They're going to be totally, like, incomprehensive. I give the shows, I mean, if I were a kid or a parent, I'd probably give it around a 7, but because of my age, I'd give it a 4. But if you were to say how cool these shows are, I guess you'd give it a 7, because if you're old enough, it can distract the kid's mind and get them like, oh, look, Elmo, or oh, look, Big Bird, or look, Snuffleupagus. You know, that's pretty cool. I give it a 7. The lines, though, if it sometimes gets packed, you know, you don't want to mess with that. The parade, my family didn't even try to get to the parade because there's the only way you can really see the show if you buy the reserved seating, which, no, we're not doing that. And what's the point? Our family's not going to watch the show anyways, the parade, so let's not even do it. You can see it from just walking around the park anyways. You can look at it. Oh, look, it's Cow on his floaty, you know. No point in just standing around watching it in the beating sun when I could be eating or having fun in the water park or rides. So the parade, I give it a 2 because it seriously is so packed, and the only way you can really watch it with shade is if you buy. Like, everything's for the money, and it's pissy. I don't really think there's anything else to the park. Yeah, that's it. So overall review, the lines, the queue basically, if you're from anywhere else that doesn't say lines, the queue, no. I give that a 1 because they bit off more than they can chew, kind of. Or they kind of like, it's kind of like, yeah, they bit off more than they can chew. They expected it to be not that famous than it is. So everything is small and like most of it can be like only like 2 at a time, which cannot add up very well when there's hundreds of thousands of people there. There's bunches of people there, and the lines, queues suck. They're annoying, and I know you have to have a little bit of patience, but when you're waiting that long to get on a ride or get on a water slide, it's not worth it. It's really not. They should expand the park, I'm thinking. They don't see a problem, but us guests do when there's a little bit of space with all these kids and adults. Not good. So the queues get a 1 from me. The rides, 4.5. I'm sorry if I'm changing these, but that's my overall review. The rides get a 4.5. The water rides get a 3.5. No. Yeah, 3. Regular 3. The restaurants get a 3.5. The parade gets a 2. And the shows get a 7. The reason the shows got the most is because they're entertaining for younger audience. And if you're kind of trying to just take a seat, trying to take a chill pill, trying to just go scroll on your phone and watch a video, do that. I mean, do it all you want. I'd recommend doing that. Or just like sitting down and relaxing, drinking your drink, taking time to rest because you still got a long day ahead of you. Do that. That's why I give it a 7. It's the only spot where you can just chill without a lot of people. There's still a lot, but there's not that many. And the kids are still entertained. So yeah, that's all for Sesame Place. I mean, if you have toddlers, I recommend bring toddlers. Do not bring kids, I think, like 7 plus. Or below, like 2. Because no one in those age priorities that I said don't bring them, they're not going to like it. Older kids are going to not get the thrill they want until Sesame Place decides to add more roller coasters and adult/teen rides or pools. And the babies, you can't really do much with a baby, especially if they can't swim or they don't like water or they're handheld. So I wouldn't recommend that. So yeah, basically that is all for Sesame Place. Give it a go if you have toddlers. And if they really like Sesame Place. The ticket's very expensive. I didn't even include Abby Cadabby's queue, magic queue, which is where you skip lines. It sucks for some people. I've seen somebody wait 3 times just to get on the first row seating at the Wacky Taxi because the Magic Cube people kept taking it. So yeah, that's it for Sesame Place. Try it out if you want. That's all. Bye!